Hello, guys. Okay, today we're going to see unit number 2. So let's see, unit 2, stories and structures and pictures. Sorry, stories and pictures. Language, simple past and time expressions, ed, ing, adjective. Okay, we already have studied simple past tense. Our previous semester, our previous level, we studied that part. Okay, so we have to remember. Hay que recordar un poquito. Ya lo vimos, el pasado simple. So it says, that's me in the photo. So look at the photo in the text below and say what is happening. What do you call this type of photos? Read the text quickly and match the descriptions 1 to 3 with a photo A and C. So we got the story of selfies, okay? The age of selfies began in, selfie began in the early 21st century when people started using smartphones with digital cameras. We now take over 1 million selfies every day. Here are 3 interesting selfies with their stories. Okay, I think selfies are already studied. Yeah, long time ago. Okay, so we got number 1. Robert Cornelius made the world first selfie when he experimented with a camera in 1839. He tried to take a photo of himself, but early cameras work very slowly, so Robert didn't move for 1 minute and he couldn't smile. That's why the photo wasn't very exciting. Okay, so we really have tried. Me acuerdo cuando había las otras cámaras, uno hacía selfie igual. Claro, that's number 1. So, wow, we can understand. Podemos entender that number 1 is number 2 here. La número 2 aquí, ¿no? Now, 2. This terrifying selfie is Alexander Renew from Russia. Renew, Russia. Renew. In May In May 2014, Alexander traveled to Dubai with a friend. They were interested in taking normal photos, so they decided to climb the Princess Tower, which is over 400 meters tall. They opened a door at the top of the building and climbed out, and they didn't use any safety equipment. Why didn't do it? They said that they were bored. So number 2 is this one, 2C. 3. Teenager Jack Sojourner was very excited when he saw Queen Elizabeth II in the Northern Ireland on June 24, 2014. He quickly took a selfie and sent it to all his friends. He was very pleased. But how did the Queen feel about being in someone else's photo? We didn't know. But she looked a little annoyed. Okay, so that's selfies. Now it says read the text again and complete the sentence with the names in the box. Okay, read the text and write down here. Okay, let's see. So took a very dangerous photo as well. Jack Joyner, I think. Yeah, so let's see. No, it wasn't Jack Joyner. Uh Alexander Renew, I think that's correct. Yeah, that's it. So we got 1. Alexander Renew took a very dangerous photo. Queen Elizabeth II wasn't happy to be in a photo. And Robert Cornelius waited a long time to take the photo. Jack Sorian took a photo of a famous person here. Okay, good, perfect. So we got this part here. Now write the simple past of the forms of the verbs. Check your answer in the text. Okay, we have to remember past tense, okay? We have to remember the past tense. Regular and irregular verbs. A ver, recordemos un poquito. Hay 2 tipos de verbos cuando hablamos de pasado, regular e irregular, ¿sí? Vamos primero convirtiendo los verbos en pasado. Begin, began. Make, made. Try, tried. Work, worked. Travel, traveled. Decide, decided. Be, was, were. Sent, sent. Past simple of the verbs, el pasado simple de los verbos, la segunda columna, chicos. Then we have to put in the correct order. Luego lo tenemos que colocar en orden. Regular verbs, work, decide, travel, try. Irregular verbs are be, begin, make, and send. Hay que recordar que los verbos regulares se le aumenta, exacto, ed, work, worked, decide, decided. Okay, we have to add ed to the verb. Se agrega ed al verbo. And the irregular verbs are the ones that change. Esos verbos que cambia. Be, was, were, begin, began, make, made, send, send. Okay, the ones that change. Unfortunately, there is no rule to learn the irregular verbs. What you have to do is to memorize or learn it by heart. Okay, tienen que memorizarlos, chicos. No hay otra. ¿Sí? Les voy a compartir el listado nuevamente de verbos, pero espero que los tengan. So what you have to remember here, lo que tenemos que recordar aquí es lo siguiente. Let's see. So, when we talk about the rules, cuando hablamos un poquito de las reglas del pasado simple, sabemos que un verbo en pasado, fácil, veo cuál es el verbo y lo convierto en pasado, listo. Saben que el verbo to be, el pasado es was y were. Ya esa parte lo saben. Was y were es el verbo to be. Para ser negativo, we use didn't. Se utilizaba didn't. Recuerda, didn't. ¿Y qué le pasaba al verbo? El verbo volvía a su forma base, de base form. Entonces, por ejemplo, si yo hago la oración, Alexander didn't travel to Dubai, didn't y travel está en su forma original. No cambia. El verbo en pasado o el cambio se realiza en la oración afirmativa, no en el negativo. Y peor en la pregunta, to form a question in the simple past, we normally use did, utilizamos did, subject and the base form. Asimismo, el verbo en forma base. Un error muy común cuando ven el verbo to be y en negativo ponen didn't be. Ah, es que usted dijo Mr. didn't y el verbo normal, be. Pero acuérdense que el verbo to be es un verbo VIP, tiene sus propias reglas. The verb to be en negativo, el verbo to be ya sabemos que es was y were. Y en negativo, wasn't, weren't. ¿Ok? Lo mismo pasa con could. Ya, miren, el negativo no puede ser didn't can, imposible. El negativo de could es couldn't. Ojo con estas excepciones. El verbo to be, wasn't, weren't en negativo, y de could, couldn't. Mucho ojo con eso. So you got here the rules, tienen las reglas aquí. Por ejemplo, ya tienen una oración afirmativa. Alexander traveled to Dubai. El verbo está en pasado. He took a photo. Vamos con esto aquí. He took a photo. Regular y irregular verbs. Alexander didn't travel to Dubai. Aquí ya no le aumento el verbo ed. Y aquí, en el verbo irregular, volvió a su forma original, a la forma base. He didn't take a photo. ¿Ya? Take. Volvió a la forma base. The same happened in the question. Lo mismo pasa en la pregunta. Why did he travel to Dubai? Why did he take a photo? Okay. So we got time expressions go at the end or the beginning of a sentence. Okay, that is important. Aquí es importante las expresiones de tiempo que tenemos van al final o al inicio. But look at this at the beginning. We use a comma. In May 2014, comma, Alexander traveled to Dubai. Okay. So be careful with that part. Bueno, vamos revisando en la página 114 un poquito las reglas. We already know them, sabemos ya lo de los verbos regulares y irregulares. Remember that the regular verbs we have ed, se agrega ed. Está de más decir que si está la e, ya simplemente agregamos la d, dance, dance. Okay. When the verb end in consonant plus y, cuando el verbo, ¿se acuerdan? Termina en consonante y, bueno, ya saben que se cambia el y, we have to change y to I, and then we add the id, study, study. Okay. Esto lo tenemos muy claro. And when the verb ends in consonant, vowel, consonant, y cuando el verbo termina en consonante, vocal, consonante, we double the final consonant. Duplicamos la última consonante. Stop, stop, plan, plan, okay? The regular verbs are the ones that change. Los irregulares son los que cambian. Go, went, have, had, take, took. Eso lo sabemos que son los que cambian, ¿no? Ya vimos que cuando es el verbo to be y el verbo can en pasado, was, were, o could, en negativo, wasn't, weren't, could, couldn't, en negativo, o mucho ojo con eso. Time expressions. We often use the time expression with the simple past to say when action happened. Time expression can go at the end or the beginning of the sentence. Ok, puede ir al inicio o al final. Pero mucho ojo con las expresiones de tiempo. ¿Se acuerdan que en segundo o en segundo nivel, primero o segundo, estudiamos las preposiciones? So that is important. Eso es importantísimo. At is used for times. At es para las horas, at 6 o'clock. In for season, month, and year. Para meses, estaciones y años. In the summer, in 2015. Last, la palabra last night, last week, last month, last year. Anoche, el año pasado, el mes pasado, el año anterior. ¿Ok? On is for days, dates, and on the weekend. On es para los días, fechas y para el fin de semana. Cuando decimos on the weekend, ¿ok? On Monday, on July 4th, ¿ok? Ojo. Y bueno, también tenemos la expresión ago. seconds ago, an hour ago, 3 days ago, and yesterday. Una hora atrás, 3 días anteriores, o hace 3 días, ago. Y yesterday, bueno, ayer, ¿no? Ojo con esas expresiones porque son importantísimas igual, ¿no? Let's listen to the pronunciation of these words. Vamos a escuchar la pronunciación de cada palabra y atentos, por favor. Let's see. Bueno,
People started using smartphones very slowly.
a ver, vamos. Number one.
People started using smartphones.
People started using smartphones.
They opened a door.
They opened a door.
Early cameras worked very slowly.
Open cameras worked very slowly. Okay, remember, si recuerdan, les dije que la ED tiene tres pronunciaciones diferentes. T, ED, and G. So we listened, escuchen, y vamos a ver cuál es la pronunciación cada uno.
People started using smartphones.
Started.
They opened a door.
They opened a door.
Early cameras worked very slowly.
Early cameras worked very slowly. So we got ED sound, D sound, and the T sound, okay? You have in the list, tienen en la lista de verbos la pronunciación de cada uno, ¿no? Pero igual no es malo revisarlo. Mucho ojo con eso. So we got here some examples here. We have to use which one we use. Look, decide, watch, travel, experiment, climb here. Vamos si nos queda espacio aquí. Bueno, no tenemos espacio, pero tienen ahí las palabras, ¿no? Vamos a dejarlo ahí porque igual no tenemos espacio para colocarlos en lista. Pero importante que pronunciemos las palabras, ¿ok? Now, number 6. Choose the correct adjective to complete the sentence. Check your answer in the text. Hay que revisar el texto. Vamos, adjetivos. ED or ING. Let's see here. According to the text, tenemos. That's why. Okay, this is. Ajá, that's it. Vamos, give me 1 second. Vamos a ver. Let me try again. Okay, so we have to. Tenemos en la primera pregunta. That's why the final photo wasn't very exciting. Exciting. This terrifying selfie is of Alexander Revenue from Russia. They said they were bored. Teenager Jack Sorjon was very excited when he saw Queen Elizabeth II. Which adjective describe people's feeling? ¿Cuál de estos describen el sentimiento de la persona? Bueno, tenemos bored, excited. And which adjective describes someone or something that causes a feeling? Exciting, terrifying. Cuando un adjetivo describe de algo o de alguien, algo que le causa felicidad. Exciting, terrifying. Vamos a ver justamente eso. Los adjetivos, ¿cuándo utilizarlos? Si con ed o con ing. Vamos a ver. So let's go here to this part. Vamos a irnos a esta parte. Let's go to the page, what was 139, página 139. So it says, look at the pictures and complete the sentence with ed or ing. Vamos a ir escuchando and let's listen.
2.5.
Vamos a colocarlo primero todos para poder ver uno por uno.
2.5. 1.
The magic show was amazing. I was amazed. The magician did some incredible tricks.
A ver, vamos a hacer una pausa para entender cuándo se utiliza la ed en los adjetivos y el ing. The magic show was amazing. Bueno, ustedes miran, mister, pero aquí está el verbo to be, was. Sí, correcto. Pero, a ver, el uso correcto de esto es cuando yo tengo ese sentimiento, ¿ya? De algo, ¿ok? Utilizo el ing. ¿Ya? Cuando tengo, eso me parece muy bonito, eso me parece sorprendente, eso me parece interesante, ¿ya? Eso, cuando yo quiero expresar que me parece o un sentimiento de algo o de alguien, utilizo el ing. Pero cuando yo, ¿qué es lo que yo siento? Utilizo la ed. I was amazed. Estuve sorprendido. I was interested in my interest in, I don't know, en golf. Cuando, esa es la diferencia. Mientras uno, el ing aquí, cuando hablo de adjetivos, hablo que le muestro la expresión a alguien o a algo o a una cosa, eso es ing, pero cuando yo estoy expresando lo que yo creo, que yo estuve sorprendido, que para mí es hermoso, que para mí es esto, utilizo ed. Entonces, mucho ojo con eso. Vamos.
2. I had a really relaxing weekend.
Relax, uy, que estoy expresando
I
que esta
felt
semana
so
fue bien.
relaxed, I took a nap on
I
Saturday
felt so
afternoon.
relaxed that I took a nap on Saturday afternoon. Ahí es lo que yo
3.
di.
What a long day. I'm so tired now.
I'm so tired now.
It's tiring being a mother.
It's tiring being a mother.
4.
I'm interested in Roman history. Do you have any interesting books on the subject?
Okay.
5.
The class was very boring this morning. I was so bored I fell asleep.
6.
I was embarrassed when the computer stopped working. I couldn't give my presentation. It was very embarrassing.
7.
I was annoyed because Joe was playing loud music. It's very annoying when people make a lot of noise.
8.
I failed my driving test last week. I was really disappointed. It's disappointing, but I can take the test again.
9.
I got my ticket for the music festival.
I'm
so excited.
It's
It's always exciting to go to a live concert.
always exciting to go to a live concert.
10.
I don't like this. I'm terrified of heights. I didn't think cleaning windows would be so terrifying.
11.
These instructions are very confusing. I'm completely confused. I don't know what this means.
12.
Anna received a surprising email this morning. Anna was really surprised when she read the email.
Okay, and I was really surprised when she read the email. Okay, good. So we got adjective with ed or ing, adjetivos con ed o ing. Let's come back to page 13. Volvamos a la. Okay, let's do the exercise. Se me olvidaba el ejercicio número 2. Veamos, escojamos si lleva ed o ing. Vamos, un minuto. Listo, vamos a revisar entonces, veamos. So, the class was really interesting and all the students enjoyed. ¿Por qué va el ING? Porque estoy hablando de la clase. Recuerden, cuando yo expreso algo de alguna cosa de alguien, va el ING, pero cuando es algo mío, ¿ya? We were really all surprised. Miren el número 2. Estábamos sorprendidos, nosotros, mis compañeros y yo. We heard Kathy's news, okay? ED. The photo from the concert were really disappointing. Are you excited about moving abroad next year? Horror movies are terrifying. I never watched them. The exam questions were very confusing. I didn't understand it at all. I lost my phone, so I couldn't take any photo. It was very annoying. I was very embarrassed when I arrived late. Okay, so let's come back to page 13. Volvamos a la página 13. So, complete the question with the simple past of the verb in the parentheses. Ok, vamos a colocar los verbos en pasado, todos, vamos. Let's write down here the verb in past. Feel, felt. Be, was. In this case, como dice you, were. Do, did. Because look at the question. When was the last time you felt embarrassed? When was the time you were terrified? When was the last time you did something tiring? When was the last time you ate something interesting? When was the last time you received some surprising news? And when was the last time you got annoyed with your best friend? Okay, good. Okay, perfect. So we got the past simple of the verbs. We have to answer, but we're not going to answer right now. Bueno, no hay espacio aquí para responderlas, pero bueno, personal questions. Preguntas personales. Okay, let's go to the next one. Vamos al siguiente, por favor. So parties like it's 1829. Describe the picture of a party, discuss the question in pairs. Why do people have parties? Okay, people have parties to celebrate, okay? What do you usually do when you go to a party? ¿Qué usualmente hacemos en la fiesta? We drink, we dance, we tell jokes, we spend time together, I think. Do you prefer to organize parties or to be the guest? Oh, that's a difficult question. ¿O el que organiza o el invitado? That's hard. Yeah. I would like to organize parties. Me gusta organizar fiestas, but it's tired. You didn't enjoy too much. No disfruta lo mismo. What was the worst thing about parties? ¿Qué es lo peor de la fiesta? Oh, sometimes if you were drunk, maybe, at the next day, cuando estás ebrio el día siguiente, that happened, no? That's totally weird, totalmente raro, okay? That's awful. How do you say resaca? Do you know how you say resaca? Hangover. Ojo, la resaca. Your hangover. Be careful. Okay, before you read, predict as much information as you can. Read the title of the text. Can you guess what it means? Look at the pictures. What people, place, and things do they show? Read the heading of different sections. What do you think they are about? Importantísimo, ¿no? A ver, cuando uno va a leer, así mismo en el anterior hablamos de listening, pero en esta hablamos ahora de lectura. Saquemos el contexto a través de la foto, la imagen, si tenemos el título, ¿ya? Y vamos leyendo rápidamente y sacando cosas, ¿ya? Lea los títulos, las diferentes secciones y tienes una idea más o menos, ¿ok? So we got here real the skill box, try to predict the answers to the questions. Bueno, aquí tenemos una lectura ya. We got party like a president. Okay. Andrew Jackson. Vamos a ir viendo un poquito. Andrew Jackson was president of the United States from 1829 to 1837. He was the first president from the Democratic Party and a very popular politician, but he's also famous for some surprising events that took place at the White House. The picture below showed two memorable parties held when Jackson was president. Okay, fue un presidente que hizo fiesta en Casa Blanca. Okay, interesting. Okay, so according to that, we have to answer this. Vamos a ir bien. In 1829 celebrations, on March 4, 1829, when Jackson became president, he invited his supporters to visit the White House. And thousands of people followed him to his new home. At first, the crowd waited in the garden, but they were very excited and soon pushed their way inside. After that, the party got out of control. People threw on the tables and chairs, broke glasses, and some even fell down and hurt themselves. Jackson escaped through a window and went to a nearby hotel, but his staff stayed because they were worried about the building. In the end, they put a lot of food on tables in the garden, and the hungry guests followed them outside to eat the food. The White House was safe for the moment. Okay, that was interesting. Es interesante, ¿no? Lo que pasó en la Casa Blanca. The last party, 1837. 8 years later, a farmer gave the president an enormous cheese, which weighed over 600 kilograms. Jackson didn't know what to do with it. He couldn't eat it himself, but then he had an idea. He decided to have another party to celebrate the end of his presidency. In February 1837, thousands of guests arrived and started to eat the only thing on the menu, the cheese. After just 2 hours, he checked and it was gone. Everyone was very happy, but the expensive carpet in the White House were covered with the smelly cheese. This time, Jackson wasn't worried about the mess. He filled the White House 2 weeks later, and the next president, Martin Van Buren, was very annoying because the building still smelled of cheese. Okay, well, interesting parties. Okay, una fiesta, no? Okay, so here we got. So complete, well, we have some discussions in pairs, but we have to complete the sentence with the words from the box, okay? A ver, veamos, no, me falté. So let's answer here. Veamos la respuesta. So, number 1. Who was Andrew Jackson? Andrew Jackson was the president of the United States from 1829 to 1837. He was a president. Where did he live? He lived in the White House. What did the guests do at the 1829 party? The guests got out of control. They stood on tables and chairs, broke glasses, and some even fell and hurt themselves. 4. What did the guests do at the 1837 party? The guests helped the president eat the enormous cheese a farmer had given him. Okay, that's number 4. Good, excellent. Yep, that's good. Now, it says, read the text more details and look at the sentence. I'm right. 1829 party, 1837 party, or both. Okay, so we have to write the year. So, let's see here. Let me put here. Let me do this quickly. Vamos a hacerlo rapidito. Okay, so there was food at the party, both. In both parties we have food. En ambas fiestas de la Casa Blanca había comida. Some guests got managed in 1829. En la primera fiesta tuvo problemas. Hubo daños. All the guests had a good time at the 1837 party. The second party, la última fiesta, la segunda. Jackson didn't stay until the end. 1829 party, okay. Jackson received a strange present, 1837 party, and the guests ate in the gardens, 1829 party, okay, according to the story, de acuerdo a la historia. Muy bien, okay. Andrew Jackson, interesante, ¿no? Okay, when we had more discussed questions, but we're gonna go to number 5. Complete the sentence with the words in the box. Okay, ojo con estas palabras. Cuando uno va contando historias, ¿ya? We use this kind of words. Uno va utilizando este tipo de palabras, ¿ya? Entonces, vamos a ir viendo. So, let's go on. They soon pushed their way inside. After that, the party got out of control. Después de eso. 8 years later, a farmer gave the president enormous cheese. Jackson didn't know what to do with it. He couldn't eat it himself, but then he had an idea. Luego, después, later, después, then, luego. After just 2 hours, después de 2 horas, he checked and it was gone. Okay? So you got these transition words, estas palabras de transición que me ayudan a mi lectura o a mi historia, ¿no? A ir avanzando. Y aquí las tenemos, ¿ok? Transition words o sequencers, ¿ok? Sequencers, I think. They say one action happened after another. Cuando sucede una acción después de otra, ¿no? I went to the gym and then, y luego I went home. I went to the gym, after that, I went home. Pero miren cómo se utiliza, ¿eh? Then si va ahí entre las dos oraciones. Pero after that va punto, termino la oración, after that, coma, y va a la siguiente oración, ¿eh? To say one action happened after a period of time, cuando ha pasado un periodo de tiempo, 2 hours later, or after 2 hours. Yeah, later, after. Be careful with that. Mucho ojo con eso. Okay, let's go to the next page. Vamos a la siguiente página. So we got more vocabulary here. Let's go to life stages in 1940. Sorry, page 140. 140, let's go. Okay, we got life stages. Nuestra etapa. Nuestras etapas. Vamos a ir viendo. Let's check it and then we complete.
2.6.
Vamos a completarla e ir escuchando las palabras que veamos aquí.
2.6. 1,
Be born.
Be born,
2,
Go to elementary school.
go to elementary school,
3,
Grow up.
grow up,
4,
Go to middle school.
go to middle school,
5,
Finish school.
finish school,
6,
Get your driver's license.
get your driver's license,
7,
Graduate from college or high school.
graduate from college and high school,
8,
Start a career.
start a career,
9,
Fall in love.
fall in love,
10,
Get engaged.
get engaged,
11,
Get married.
get married,
12,
Have children.
have children,
13,
Get a divorce.
get a divorce,
14,
Retire.
retire,
15,
Die.
die. Okay, so we got that one, the life stages, okay, las etapas, ¿no? De nuestra vida. Okay, match the 2 columns to make sentences. Okay, hay que formar oraciones. Vamos a ir viendo. Well, you have to write down the number of the letter, but here I'm going to match here. So my grandmother was born on April 14, 1993, okay, in that way. She grew up on a farm in Kentucky. She went to elementary school when she was 5. She finished school when she was 18 in 1861. She went to college to study medicine. She started her career as a doctor in a hospital. There she met my grandfather, also a doctor. They got married, okay, in 1966 after getting engaged. They have 2 children at age of, they got 2 children, my mother and my uncle. My grandmother retired at age of 65, okay? Se retiraron a los 65 años. Okay, and then we have to complete the text with the correct form of the life stage verbs. A ver, con los verbos que tengo ahí, vamos a ir viendo. So we got here, again. 1. My parents work in different countries, so I grew up with my grandparents in Miami. Crecer, grew up. Lucas got engaged. Se comprometió to his girlfriend last week. The wedding is on May of next year. I want to get my driver's license in the summer. Then I can drive to college every day. Sandra's parents got a divorce 10 years ago, but they're still friends and see each other often. Raul works in a hospital. He says almost 30 babies are born. They are every day. They're every day. Every day, okay? Are born. Nacieron. Vamos, han nacido. Let's come back to page 16 here. Now read the radio guide about Mario Testino. What is his job? Why he's famous? And we got here. Listen to the radio program here. Okay, we got here. Oops. We got this text here. And then we got listen to the radio program. Choose the correct options to complete the sentence. Okay, vamos a escuchar y completar correctamente. Vamos a escuchar el programa.
2.7 Good morning and welcome to Behind the Camera with me, Andrew Stewart. My guest this morning is fashion editor Sarah Mendez, and we're discussing the life and work of Mario Testino. So, Sarah, tell me a little about Mario's life. Where is he from?
Well, he was born in Peru in 1954 and was the oldest of 6 children. He grew up in Lima and went to an American school there. His father was Italian and a businessman. He often took the teenage Mario on business trips to New York to translate for him. But instead, Mario went shopping for clothes.
What did he do after he finished high school?
He went to college in Peru and in the U.S., and then, in 1976, he moved to London to study photography. He didn't have much money, so he worked as a waiter in the evenings and lived on a floor of an old hospital.
Really? And how did his career start?
At first, he photographed some of the waiters and waitresses from the restaurant where he worked, since many of them wanted to be models and actors. Then the fashion magazine Vogue used one of his photographs, and he started to work for them. But it wasn't until the 1990s that he became really famous.
And how did that happen? Who did he work with?
Well, in 1995, he photographed Madonna for the fashion company Versace, and that made him a big star. Then, in 1997, Princess Diana asked him to take some photographs of her. Sadly, Diana died later that year, but those photos became incredibly famous and were seen all over the world.
I see. So, what is he doing today? Does he still live in London?
Yes, he has a house in London, but he spends a lot of time traveling now. In 2012, he opened a gallery in his hometown of Lima, which has shows of his own work and other Peruvian artists. So maybe this is Mario coming back home.
Thanks, Sarah. We're going to talk more about Mario later. But first, some music. This is by another of Testino's subjects. It's Taylor Swift and 22...
Okay, time's over. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so we got Mario was born in Peru. Okay, so he grew up in Lima. After high school, he went to college. In London, he got a job in a restaurant and he started his career by photographing people he worked with. Okay, interesting, no? How he started working. Okay, now complete the house questions with the words in the box. Listen and check, okay? According to this, we have to listen to the questions again.
2.8.
Vamos a escuchar.
Where is he from?
Vamos a escuchar uno por uno.
Where is he from?
Where is he from? Where is he from? So we got number one.
What did he do after he finished high school?
What did he do after he finished high school?
How did his career start?
How did his career start?
How did his career start?
Next one, four.
Who did he work with?
Who? Very good. Who did he work with? Who? Four.
What is he doing today?
What is he doing today?
Does he still live in London?
Does he still live in London? Does he still live in London? Okay, so we got that one. Okay. Next. Let's go on to next page. Then we got question forms. Okay, look at the exercise 4. Look at the exercise 4 again and answer the questions. Then read the grammar box. Okay, so let's see here. Let's complete here the grammar box that we have here. Let me close this. Which question does have a question word? Okay, we got 6. Vamos. Veamos. So you got these questions here. Which question doesn't have a question word? ¿Cuál de estas preguntas que vimos no tenía un WH question, una palabra de pregunta? Vimos en su momento que existen dos tipos de preguntas, preguntas cerradas, preguntas abiertas. Sabemos que tenemos las preguntas cerradas, las yes, no questions, cuando empiezan con el auxiliar. Does he still live in London? Yes or no, he does or no, he doesn't. Okay, yes, he does or no, he doesn't. Es una pregunta de yes or no question. Solo puedo responder sí o no. Mientras las otras tienen un WH question o a question word, tienen una pregunta con WH, ¿ya? Una palabra. O esa pregunta para hacer, o esa palabra para hacer preguntas, como por ejemplo, where, what, how, who, what. ¿Ya? So we got here, in question 1 to 6, which auxiliary verb are used for? A ver, ¿qué verbos auxiliares vemos en cada pregunta? La del presente, does, la del simple past, did, y bueno, y el presente continuo, is. Which question doesn't have an auxiliary verb? Number 1. La número 1 no tiene un verbo auxiliar. ¿Ok? Do or does. Sino que es el verbo to be. Recuerden, el verbo to be es especial. Entonces, justamente tenemos aquí most verbs a la mayoría de verbos. We add the question word. Se utiliza la de question word. Where, when, what. Auxiliary verb, subject, main verb. Pero el question word se puede omitir, ¿no? En algunos casos, dependiendo de la pregunta. Por ejemplo, where do you live? Does your brother live near here? ¿Dónde vives? ¿Tu hermano vive cerca de aquí? Una pregunta abierta, una pregunta cerrada. Una pregunta para dar más información con el WH question o una pregunta que puedo responder yes or no. ¿Ok? Pero pasa algo con el verbo to be. Bueno, ya saben que el verbo to be es especial. I can use the question word. Puedo usar el question word y por supuesto utilizo be. No tiene un auxiliar. No tiene un auxiliar. Ya sabemos que en presente los auxiliares eran do y does. Y para pasado viene a ser the. ¿Ok? Ojo, no podemos olvidarlo. So we got some questions here. Aquí incluso la pronunciación.
How
Does
did
he
his
still live
career
in
start?
London?
Ya.
Does he still live?
Incluso la pronunciación es muy importante. ¿Ya? Entonces, ¿por qué? Porque en un momento les dije que una pregunta abierta, el sonido o el tono que uno realiza de intonation, go down, va para abajo. ¿A qué me refiero? Escuchen.
How did his career start?
How did his career start? La entonación es para abajo al final. Pero cuando es una pregunta yes no question, yes no question, una pregunta de sí y no, perdón, la entonación es hacia arriba.
Does he still live in London?
Does he still live in London? Por eso es muy importante. Al principio, como les dije, parece muy gracioso, pero es muy importante el tono que le demos a cada pregunta. Y let's see some examples. Veamos algunos ejemplos.
2.12. 1,
Was Mario's father from Peru?
2,
Why did he take Mario to New York?
3,
When did Mario move to London?
4,
Did Princess Diana die in 1997?
5,
Does he live in New York now?
6.
What song does the radio host play?
Okay, perfect. So we got the pronunciation of the questions here, so be careful with that. Okay, mucho ojo con ese tipo de preguntas. Vamos a ir a la siguiente página. Let's go to the next questions. So we are going to look at the pictures in Paris. Predict what happened in Taylor's first day of work. A ver, podemos predecir qué le pasa, ¿no? El primer trabajo. Maybe she get late. I don't know. She's drinking some coffee here. So let's watch the first part of the learning curve. Vamos a ver nuestro video. And we have to write true or false to the following sentences. Watch or listen again to check, okay? Vamos a ver, nos van a contar una historia. Vamos a ver. Let's listen.
So, it's the first day of my new job at the fitness center today, and I'm really excited about it. Look, this is my new employee ID. Taylor Weiss, personal trainer. Yeah, I know, I look funny. So, I'm also a bit worried. Here's why. First, the gym is 45 minutes north of New York City on the expressway. I don't like driving during rush hour. There's always traffic. Gosh, I hope there aren't any traffic jams. Oh, and then there's parking. It's hard to find parking, and I don't want to be late. I like to be early or right on time. Okay, so at 6:45, I need to leave now, quietly. I don't want to wake my roommate, Penny. Penny and I share this apartment. She's from England, so she calls me her flatmate. Penny is a co-host on Learning Curve. We usually meet after work in the park, so later I can talk to her about my day. I have no idea what's going to happen today, but I know one thing. I can't be late. Hi, Penny. I'm so glad you're here. So, what happened? How was it? Okay, so let me tell you about my first day. It didn't go quite as I thought. Why not? Well, you know how I feel about being late, so I left our apartment before 7. I hope you didn't hear me.
No, you were very quiet. And?
I thought I'd have a lot of time to drive to the gym and find parking, but you'll never guess what happened. At first, I felt great because I was 10 minutes early, and I found a parking place right near the gym. But just as I started to park, a big car drove right in front of me and took my spot.
Oh no, that's awful.
Can you imagine? It was so rude.
What did you do?
Well, I felt really angry, so I hit the horn really loud. I also shouted a little too.
Oh no, then what happened?
Nothing. We got out of the car, locked the door, and just walked away like it was no big deal. I drove around for 10 more minutes and looked for a place to park, but it was so busy and confusing. Finally, I found a place to park, but it was 5 blocks away, so I was 15 minutes late on my first day.
Poor you. I know how you hate to be late for anything.
Oh, but that's not all. You'll never guess who took my parking spot.
What? No.
My new boss. It was so embarrassing. The good news is he didn't say anything to me about it all day, but he also didn't say anything about my being late.
Lucky you. Maybe he was embarrassed too.
Yeah, maybe. Well, at least nobody heard me shouting at him.
Okay, that was interesting. Okay, she doesn't like to be late there. So let's see here. Let's see again. So number 1, Taylor's new job is a fitness center. True. She was worried about being late. It's true. She doesn't like to be late. She arrived at work 15 minutes early, false. A big car hit her car, that's false. The man in the car shouted at her, false. And she was embarrassed, yes, of course, because it was his boss, was her boss. Okay, now when we start storytelling a personal story, we start with something similar happened to me that reminds me a lot. Let me tell you about. Involving the listeners, you never guess. Can you imagine? But that's not all. Saying how you felt. I felt really, at first I felt, okay, these are common phrases too, in this case, when we are telling a story to somebody, okay? A personal story. Now, read the conversation building, match the two parts to make sentences that Taylor used in her story. A ver, vamos, las historias, en este caso, las frases que
About my parking spot.
At first,
Vamos escuchando, vamos. One,
let me tell you about my first day.
let me tell you about my first day. Good.
At first, I felt great.
At first, I felt great. Good.
I felt really angry.
I felt really angry.
But that's not all.
But that's not all. Por eso no fue todo.
Spot.
Hmm?
You'll never guess who took my parking spot.
You never guess who took my parking spot.
It was so embarrassing.
It was so embarrassing, okay? It was so embarrassing. Good. Okay, that's the conversation builder. Now, let's go to the next page. Vamos a la siguiente página. And here we have to order the phrases A and H from 1 to 10, I think, 1 to 9, 1 to 8. Watch or listen the second part of the show and check. Vamos a colocar, vamos a escuchar. Vamos a colocarlos en orden. Okay, let's go on.
Actually, that reminds me of my last job.
Really?
Yes, something similar happened to me at my last job before I worked at Learning Curve.
No, with your boss?
Yes. Well, you know how I worked at a radio station in London before I moved to New York? It was an open plan office, like your cubicles here.
Right. So then?
Well, I sent my good friend Steve an email message for his birthday. It said, "Happy birthday to my handsome, amazing friend," and I wrote XXX, 3 kisses and lots of love.
What's wrong with that?
Well, my boss had the same name as my friend, Steve Jones, and apparently...
No, you're
Happy.
kidding.
I sent the message to him by mistake.
Oh no. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. That's awful. What did he do then?
Later, my boss, Steve, stopped at my desk, and you'll never guess what he said. "I'm glad you think I'm handsome and amazing, but it isn't my birthday." He thought it was funny, but can you imagine how I felt? Everyone in the office could hear him. It was quite embarrassing.
Poor you.
I was so glad when I left that job.
What happened after that? Did you see him again?
Well, actually, he gave me flowers on my last day of work. He was quite handsome. He reminded me of that actor we really like.
Ooh, lucky you. Speaking of that actor we like, we have to get our movie tickets now.
Right, we don't want to be late.
Okay, good. That's interesting now. Okay, so we have to look here and do it in the correct order. We have to put in correct order here. Let's put again. Let's do it. Let's put in order. Okay. Oops. Okay, so let's put here. Something similar happened to me at my last job. Esta es la primera. Colóquele ahí número 1, number 1. Number 2, I work at the radio station in London before I moved to New York. That's number 2. Number 3, I sent my good friend Steve an email message for his birthday. It said, "Happy birthday to me, handsome, amazing friend." 4, my boss had the same name as my friend Steve Jones, okay? Okay, 5, I sent a message to him by mistake, okay? You never guess what he did. I'm glad you think I'm handsome and amazing, but it isn't my birthday. Good. Okay, 7, I think. He thought it was funny, but can you imagine how he felt? 8, Everyone in the office could hear him. It was quite embarrassing. Okay, that's the last one. You have to write down 1 to 8, del 1 al 8, okay? So when we show interest, cuando tenemos el interés a alguien, we show responsive expressions such as, oh no, really? Okay, so we get some phrases here. Tenemos algunas frases aquí. So listen to this. So, responding to someone positive, okay? Cuando quiero responder a algo positivo, great, of course, great, sure. Vamos, okay, what else? Responding to someone negative, that's awful. That's amazing, something positive. Oh no. Showing interest or asking more information. Oh no, here. Really? What did you do then? You are kidding. Okay, that's something positive also. Lucky you, I think. What happened? And well, you poor thing here. Negative. Okay, so we got some phrases here. Oops. Okay, let's go on to next. Volvamos. And listen to the phrases 1 to 6, which speaker sounds more interest, A or B. A ver, hay que ver qué persona es la más interesada, la A o la B, A or B. Entonces vamos a ir colocando.
2.17. 1.
Escuchemos.
A.
What happened?
B.
What happened?
Ah, A or B.
2.
A ver.
A.
That's amazing.
B.
That's amazing.
3.
Que suena más interesada.
A.
Really?
B.
Really?
Really?
4. A.
Oh no, that's awful.
B.
Oh no, that's awful.
5. A.
You're joking.
B.
You're joking.
6. A.
Lucky you.
B.
Lucky you.
Okay, so we have to choose A or B.
2.18.
Okay, A or B, A or B, A or B. So,
2.18.
let's see, let's check, let's check. Let's check. So number 1, B. 2, that's amazing. 3, really? Oh no, that's awful. B, you're joking. A, lucky you. B. That's why it's really important the intonation that we made to our sentences. Muy importante la entonación que hacemos a nuestras frases. Okay, so be careful with that. Okay, let's go to the next page. Vamos a la siguiente página. And then we got here the review and practice para repasar tanto la unidad 1 y 2. Bueno, y con eso hemos terminado nuestra unidad número 2. Recordar, como siempre, es importante avanzar con el texto. So that's really important para ir, perdón, con el workbook para que vayan revisando los ejercicios. Okay, guys, we see you next time. Nos vemos la siguiente clase, okay? Bye bye, take care.